Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to talk about what is actually driving this market. We have a government shutdown, and every time there's a government shutdown in the history, as far as I can remember, the market always went down. And all of a sudden, we have all these stocks like Cat, Microsoft, Apple, Goldman Sachs, Johnson and Johnson, United Healthcare. They're all moving up. I mean, everywhere you look, there's stocks moving up. What's going on? Everybody excited about something? What's really happening? Well, the truth is more than you realize, and the fantasy is huge. There's all kinds of retail news telling you why the stock market is moving up. The economy is unstoppable. Well, all economies are stoppable. Or the GDP, we have no idea what that is yet. Or, well, more people are being hired in private sectors. That's not true. That's a bold-faced lie. Businesses aren't hiring right now. So what is driving this market? What is causing these runs up? Cat has had a flash crash in April, like most of the companies, because of the shock of sudden uh, tariffs coming on, or the risk of tariffs is actually the risks of tariffs, not the actual tariff occurring. Now we have tariffs in place, and these are moving up. That doesn't make any sense because there's a burden for companies like Cat. If they don't manufacture it in the United States, if they manufacture even a component or they buy components from overseas, they have to absorb all of the tariffs because they really can't afford to pass it on to their customers because their customers will not buy or will buy less. That's the whole thing with that. So, why are we driving up? It's not Main Street versus Wall Street, folks. It is way more complicated than that, but it's easy to learn. And that's what I'm trying to teach you here is that you need to look at this from a completely different standpoint than what retail news is telling you because you're not getting the facts. And when you don't have the facts, you don't know how to trade properly. Who is in control of price matters. It makes a huge difference. It's not Wall Street controlling price or Main Street chasing or whatever. It's more complicated than that. So throw those two terms out because they're worthless. They haven't existed in decades. It's much more complicated. We now have 12 separate market participant groups, buy side institutions, sell side institutions, HFTs, and on and on and on. Most of the control of the market is on the professional side, dark pools, sell side institutions, so on and so forth. So, who is driving this? Certainly not the buy side. They're getting ready for the earnings season, which starts in a few days. And they're just looking to see what's going on. So, what is driving this? Something has to be driving this, and it isn't small funds managers buying or anything. They are chasing, but that is not what's happening here. So, and we have a solid move up going on. Any ideas? Any ideas at all? It was in a nice platform pattern right here before its earnings are to be reported, which are going to come out at the end of October. So why these big runs up? Okay, I'm going to tell you. Buybacks. Cat just announced not too long ago it was going to do buybacks, and these are buyback nudges. These are the little nudges and the little pushes that the sell side institutions, the big bank, who is the bank of record for Cat, has been given the orders to do buybacks. The sell side institutions are always the ones who do the actual work of the buybacks. Their floor traders are capable and they can set up an automated system also. Either way, but there are pro traders involved. And so these little nudges are pushing the price up, and smaller funds are chasing this run, or you are chasing this run. And this is why this is happening. It's moving up because of buybacks. This is a good thing. It's a great thing for people who are holding the stock long term and they want to get higher dividends because it will generate a higher dividend. It's certainly going to make the buy side institutions a happy campers because they hold a Cat. They hold uh, almost 70% of all the outstanding shares of Cat are held by the buy-side institutions. So they have a massive, dominant, controlling factor. And we can see that the buy-side institutions pushed this price up because it was way out of its fundamental zone. This fundamental zone was right in here in April. So it moved it right back up and it went sideways, and then it moved up and it went sideways a little bit, and then it slumped down a little bit to this level. And now it's being driven up by sell-side institutions, the big banks, pushing it up with buybacks. If you understand who is in control of price, and when it gets over speculated right in here, then it's retail traders, day traders, and smaller funds managers. And then some profit taking is made by the professionals who are also in the mix because they recognize a buyback pattern. Do you recognize a buyback pattern? Because it's very, very specific. The volume will be lower than average most of the time. Once we have the smaller funds getting in and retail getting in, then the volume will increase. Or if we have HFTs catch in there. And we will also see this slowly accumulate with a little peaking here. So we know that when we see that peak, that we're going to have a little minor correction here or a more significant correction. You have to read the chart as easily as you read a book, and that's what I teach. That's what I'm trying to get across to you, is that it is not a specific crossover signal or a specific candle pattern or whatever, but it's an overall look at what's going on here so that you can understand. Now, right now, we're in another little correction, minor retracement is what I call them. And this is profit taking because the stock has gone very high above its fundamental levels, which is right here. And the buy side institutions go, we don't care if it moves up, but they're not buying right now. In fact, some of them are rotating slightly out of the stock, and I can see that in the patterns that are going on here. It's a very subtle, very quiet action. You need to understand who controls price. When we have another flash crash, and I am not a predictor, I don't predict the future. Nobody can predict the future because as soon as you predict it, you either cause it to happen because of your prediction or you cause a prediction to fail because everybody overreacts. So don't trust the predictors. Don't trust those who are recommending stocks. They're out in it for the money for themselves. They're not trying to help you. Yes, it's free, and that's why it is worthless. So I'm in my retirement. I love to teach. I want you to understand how the market is moving and why it's moving. So when you come across stocks that are moving right now, the majority of stocks that are moving is because there are buyback programs going on, and they are the corporations, by telling the banks to keep their stock moving up, to push it and drive it up in value, which price or value, which they can do. That is what's moving the market upward during a time when the government has locked down. So who is actually in control of the market moving up right now? It's the major corporations doing buybacks via their bank of record. That is what you need to understand. And when they are doing this, price moving up is very consistent. There are reliable entry signals, but you want to get in early, but you're always getting in late, and you need to stop doing this. So that is my educational tutorial for the day. I want you to understand who is in control of price. When you look at a chart, you say, who's in control of price? Who is in control of price here? Buy side. Who is in control here? Professional traders. Who is in control here? Buy side. Who is in control here? Professional traders. Who is in control here? Buy side. Who's in control here? The corporation itself, having its bank of record, move price up to make it look like the company is doing better. And you always fall for it. But what you need to know is I need to get in. These are nudges and I can get in, and this run will be sturdy and steady because it's a corporate buyback. All right. That's my topic for the day. Thank you for joining me, and trade wisely.